Good evening from Archie Hall Stadium in North Syracuse. Welcome to New Channel Sports on Cable 13. I'm Ted DeLuca along with Ken Chase. Tonight, the North Stars of CNS take on the West Genesee Wildcats. And Ken, should be an interesting matchup between two teams that lost last week.
Interesting matchups. CNS is 2-1. They're coming off a tough loss from Baldwinsville. It's an 8-0 loss. Their defense has only given up 9 points all year, though. So CNS's defense is tough and sound. West Genesee, on the other hand, is 1-2. It's going to be a very important win for West Genesee if they have any hopes of going into the playoffs. What I look for is a passing attack from West Genesee against a real stellar defense from CNS. Interesting matchup.
Ken and I will be back to talk to the coaches right after this. You're watching New Channel Sports on Cable 13.
Onondaga Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation Center is dedicated to the safe and speedy recovery of all athletes from a sports-related injury. Our staff of certified athletic trainers and physical therapists specialize in the evaluation and treatment of athletic injuries and orthopedic conditions. Our facility is outfitted with the latest and most advanced therapeutic and conditioning equipment. If you've been sidelined by an athletic injury and you're serious about returning to an active lifestyle, take advantage of Onondaga Sports Medicine. Executive Director Don Lowe.
When friends don't stop friends from drinking and driving. Friends die from drinking and driving. Friends die from drinking and driving can kill a friendship.
Back at Archie Hall Stadium with West Genesee coach Joe Carruthers. Coach, this is a pivotal game for you. You're 1-2. It's a must-win.
Well, it's important that we win. It would turn the season around just a little bit and change the direction that we're going. We look forward to a win tonight.
Coach, offensively, there's been a very important change. You want to tell us about that?
Well, I'm not sure the importance of the change. We have two very good athletes, and they both can play quarterback, and one can play quarterback and flanker. So we took Scott Conklin and made him a flanker who catches the ball probably better than anybody in our team. And we made Jimmy DeAltier our quarterback who throws the ball real well and can run the team. And now we have two good athletes on the field, and I think helps it out a little bit on the offense.
So we can expect to see the ball in the air a little more because CNS has such a tough defense?
Well, if we can't run the ball, we're going to throw it. We're going to certainly try to run the ball. I think you got to make them respect your ground game and then go from there. If not, then we got to throw. If they make you throw, then you're kind of a tough spot.
Okay, Coach, let's talk about some of your key players. First, let's talk about Joe Dell, number 23.
Well, Joey Dell does a lot of different things for us. He's 135 pounds, and he's a heck of a player. He plays defensive back for us. He's also holds on our extra point snaps. He's on our kickoff team. He plays everything. He's the kind of kid that you just love to have on your team.
And how about number 88, Big Billy Sullivan?
Well, Billy has the size and the ability to play tight end, and he does very well for us. We look for big things from him, and in the future, I think he ought to open some people's eyes as far as his ball catching ability.
Okay, Coach, thanks a lot for your time. We're going to be right back after these messages. Ted DeLuca is going to be here with Coach Tom Marzullo of the CNS North Stars.
When friend fell, he called for help. But the only ones there were ignorance, incompetence, indifference. Friend called for help again. Confusion came instead. At last help came. help you what to do. In times of emergency, are you helped? Learn Red Cross First Aid, where you work, or call your local chapter.
Welcome back to New Channel Sports on Cable 13. We're speaking with CNS head coach Tom Marzillo. And, Coach, I guess the first question is a change in quarterback this week from last week's game against Beeville.
Josh Grun last week in the last few series broke his thumb. I don't know if anybody knew that in terms of going in this week, but we had to prepare our backup quarterback, Chad Waterman, who did a real nice job, and Damon Gussman may see some time also.
West Genesee, known for its passing game so far earlier this season. Your strength is in the secondary. What kind of matchup is that tonight that we can look to?
I think they have two of the leading receivers in the league. They have two great tight ends. Our matchup is really going to be up front. We have to put pressure on the quarterback. He's a tall kid. He throws the ball extremely well. We've got to get to him, and we've got to contain their tight ends. Their tight ends are very dangerous.
Is it a main passing attack for head coach Carruthers, or do they run the ball as well? Is that something else you'll have to keep an eye on?
Well, he had the ball 59 times against Rome last week, and I would say out of the 59, he threw three-quarters of the time.
Okay, this week you're featuring some of your defensive players along the front line. First of all, number 42, Mike George.
Yes, Mike George is a junior. He had a real strong JV year last year. Is doing a real good job for us this year.
Chad Farnsworth, a sophomore defensive end.
Chad was a freshman on the varsity last year. He's a sophomore this year. He's a very big kid. He's going to do a real fine job in there tonight.
Defensive tackle, Derek Villeneuve.
Derek Villeneuve is a senior, very strong, very quick kid on his feet. Does real well.
And Scott O'Connor?
Scott O'Connor is our outstanding defensive player so far. He leads all our defensive point systems. He has most of the sacks, most of the caused fumbles. He's a very, very good defensive tackle.
Okay, thanks, Coach. Best of luck tonight.
Thank you.
We'll be back with the opening kickoff in just a few moments. You're watching New Channel Sports on Cable 13.
Wake up, all the teachers come to teach a new way. Maybe then they'll listen to what you have to say.
The power of teaching.
The world won't get no better if we're just...
The power to wake up young minds. The power to wake up the world. Teachers have that power. Reach for the power. Teach. We're recruiting young teachers. Call 1-800-45-TEACH.
Welcome back to New Channel Sports on Cable 13. We are just about set for the opening kickoff between West Genesee and CNS. And Ken, here are tonight's officials.
Pagano, Oshmer, Lohr, Marinelli, the line judge.
Those are the men who will be making the calls this evening as Nick Liccamelli gets set to boot the ball away from his own 40-yard line. The kick is away, and it comes to Damon Gussman at the 25. He takes it upfield and blasts through a couple of tacklers to get the ball over the 30 to about the 35-yard line, and that is where CNS will start out with the ball on offense. North Stars are led into tonight's contest by Chad Waterman, who will start the game at quarterback. And joining Waterman are his teammates on the offensive line and their tight ends.
Brown, Sellers, O'Connor, Zockel, Kuss, who's a replacement, Corbett, and Ellis. The offensive backfields, Waterman, Warner, Childers, and Gussman. The exciting wing back.
First and 10 from the 36-yard line of CNS. Backs are split behind the quarterback, Waterman. He takes the snap and rolls right as the options go to the near side of the field, and Waterman does a nice job of running that play. Gets the ball out to about the 50-yard line. Good for a first down for CNS, provided he stayed in bounds.
That was an excellent play right there. What you're talking about is Waterman getting his feet wet here, because Waterman isn't the starter. Josh Grund is. And what they're doing is they're running the option to the short side, which is the side you're not looking for. 44 goes outside to pick up the wing back, and that leaves plenty of room room there for him to go down the sideline. That was a great run there by Chad Waterman.
Ball spotted at the 48-yard line of West Genesee. 1st and 10 for CNS. The North Stars picking up the game's first down on their first play from scrimmage. Backs are split behind the quarterback Waterman. Inside handoff to the fullback Mike Warner. He gets the ball down inside the 45-yard line to about the 42. Nice gain for Warner, the fullback.
It's so important, the first series of the game. You've got to come out there, and there's the West Genesee defensive line. McLaren, Byrne, Bell, Detalis, and Billy Sullivan, defensive end. Schneid, Perry, Manipul, Ryder, Dell, and Conklin are the defensive backfield and linebackers for the West Genesee Wildcats. West Genesee, it's important for them to do a lot of stunning because what's going to happen is they're going to be outsized a little bit by the CNS North Stars.
Warner picked up 6 yards on the play. 2nd and 4 from the 42. Waterman takes the handoff, gives to Waterman again. Or make that Warner, I should say, taking the handoff to the quarterback Waterman. He pulls the ball down inside the 40-yard line, close to another CNS first down.
We're talking about just a straight dive here, giving it to the big fullback, Mike Warner. Warner goes right into Jason Kowalczyk and takes him for a little bit of a ride and picks up another first down. Again, it's so essential, the first series. The first series sets the tone of the game. Depending upon what your strong suit is. For CNS, because they have such a strong defense, sometimes they probably like to start with their defense on the field. But now their offense is seeming to carry forth and get those first downs.
1st and 10 from the 36. Gives the tailback Childers. He doesn't get much at all. He's stacked up by the defensive line of West Genesee. Brian Bell, the nose guard, along with the defensive tackles Detalis and Byrne on the play. CNS doing a nice job so far of picking up those first downs on the ground. 2 quick ones in the first quarter. Last week against Baldwinsville, CNS didn't pick up a first down until well into the second half of play. Childers picked up 1 yard on the play, makes it 2nd and 9 for CNS from the West Genesee 35. 9:20 to go in the first quarter. No score here from North Syracuse, CNS, and West Genesee. Waterman, the quarterback, under center, takes the snap. He rolls right on the option play once again. He's going to keep it. Decides not to pitch it to his tailback Childers, and he's tackled after a gain of maybe 1-2 yards on the play.
So essential, the relationship between the quarterback and the pitchman. They must keep a 5-yard relationship. Now watch this play. As he's rolling out, his pitchman gets too close. He looks to pitch it, but the pitchman now picks up Jason Kowalczyk, and he has no place to pitch the ball. He's got to run the ball inside. To stop the option effectively, you've got to have someone come up and stop the quarterback initially so that the quarterback is forced to pitch the ball. That is the key to stopping the option.
Waterman picked up a yard on the keeper, makes it 3rd and 8. Might be the first pass we'll see by the CNS quarterback in this game. Gusman in motion right to left. Childers takes the handoff and tries to get around left end. He manages to get outside, but doesn't pick up enough yardage for the first down. After a gain of about 2 yards on the play, he's tackled. That makes it 4th down, and CNS brings the punting troops on.
CNS had initial drives that this initial drive looked like it was going someplace. West Genesee, though, toughened, stiffened when they needed to, because what's going to happen now, we're talking about field position. West Genesee is going to get the ball, but they're going to get the ball deep in their own zone.
Tom Teeter stands at the 44-yard line of West Genesee, and Scott Conklin is back inside the 5-yard line of the Wildcats for the return. Teeter's kick is away. It's a short punt toward the far side of the field. It bounds out of bounds. And West Genesee will start out with the ball at the 17-yard line as the Wildcats come onto the field for the first time offensively in the game.
Jim Kelsey put on a big rush there, and what happened was the punter took a look down to see exactly where Kelsey was, took his eye off the ball for a second, and the ball went out of bounds. But that's not a bad punt, because it's better that the ball go out of bounds inside the 20 than go into the end zone and have to bring the ball out to 20. 3 yards can make a world of difference.
The Wildcats coached by Joe Carruthers, 1-2 on the season. About to embark on their first offensive series of the night. There you see Tom Marzullo and his assistant on the CNS sideline.
Now those are coaches right over there. That's coaches Jim Deshensky, Vito Toya, and Billy Tendock over there. I believe Coach Marzullo is off on the side. And Coach Marzullo's on the side. He's going through things with his offensive line. Coach Deshensky's mom, Helen Deshensky, is just getting over an operation that she had, and we all want to wish her well and to say hello to her. Helen Deshensky, we hope you get better. Jim wanted to say hi to you.
First and 10 for the Wildcats from their own 17-yard line. West Genesee getting set for its first offensive play of the night. Inside handoff. A flag is quickly thrown down on the play. First play of the game. As keeping it was the fullback Dave Buscemi. His first carry of the contest. A gain of 1 yard on the play. Will make it 2nd and 9 from the West Genesee 18-yard line.
What a key this is going to be. How West Genesee's offense reacts against the CNS defense. CNS has only given up their defense has only given up 9 points so far this year. So we know they're stingy.
No flag on that first down play. Makes it 2nd and 9. West Genesee goes to the running game again. Wildcats pick up a yard or two through the interior line. Buscemi on the carry.
We're going to see a lot of running initially just to set up the pass. Now you see this is just a straight dive, just power on power. You see big Scott O'Connor right there in the middle fighting along with Mike Warner. What they're going to do, West Genny is going to set them up. It's just like a fight. You're going to set them up with the jab, and that's going to be their running attack. And you're going to hope to knock them out with the right hand, which is going to be their throwing attack. Let's see how the Conklin and D'Alterio connection hook up.
3rd and 5 from the 21. D'Alterio will go to the air. He rolls to the left side. Now fires down low from one of his tight ends. Darren McLaren on the reception as he made a nice crossing pattern behind the linebackers for a short gain, and that'll make it 4th down. West Genny will have to punt.
Here's Darren McLaren. Darren makes a good catch. You see right here, he has to pull up. D'Alterio looks for his secondary receiver, which is Darren McLaren crossing. Initially, what he was looking for was Scott Conklin. Scott had run a corner pattern, which is where he runs towards the middle of the field, stops after about 3 steps, and then angles towards the sideline. Except Tom Marzullo had great coverage on him on that particular play. He couldn't go downfield, made the wise decision, went to a secondary receiver, except for Darren hadn't gotten enough yardage for the first down.
Willem Jones onto the field to punt for West Genny. Low snap. It bounces one time, but Willem is able to pick it up and kick it away. Gusman calls for the fair catch at the 47-yard line. West Genesee, and that's the CNS, will take over possession here in the first quarter of play with under 5.5 minutes to go and no score between CNS and West Genesee.
That was interesting. As a punt returner myself, I always watch how. Now here you see him waving for the fair catch. He's allowed 5 yards. He should have gotten about 5 yards. That's right. Mr. Gusman is saying, I'm allowed 5 yards. So what we're talking about is 1st and 10 for the CNS North Stars here, Ted.
No flag on the play, even though Gusman was bumped. It will make it 1st and 10 from the 47-yard line of West Genesee. Warner on the carry, straight up the middle. The fullback for CNS picks up a couple yards to make it 2nd and 8. Let's see if CNS can keep that drive going after on their first offensive drive, picking up a couple first downs early, but then being forced to punt.
Big Mike Warner. Mike's a workhorse for him. He's carried the ball 31 times for 133 yards. It's a 4.3 average, and that's good in anybody's book.
Big fullback, 6'1", 195-pound senior. He is lined up in the backfield along with Cameron Childers on 2nd and 7 from the West Genesee 44. Gusman in motion. Childers takes the handoff to the near side of the field, and a nice defensive play made by West Genesee. First man in on the stop, Matt Byrd, the junior defensive tackle for West Genesee, makes the stop on Cameron Childers as he tried to get around the end on the near side of the field, and Byrd was there.
That's an essential wing tee play. What you have to do in the wing tee is you're pulling both your guards. You get a kick-out block there by Scott O'Connor, and you're supposed to get a seal block inside by your other guard. Except for on that particular time, Matt Byrd went right to the spot where the guard had vacated, ran in back of the guard, and followed him to the play. Smart defensive tackles will follow the rear quarters of their guards, and they'll find the play that way.
3rd and 7 for CNS. Waterman to throw at the screen to the near side of the field, and Childers He breaks away from a tackler, but is forced out of bounds after a gain of about 3 yards to the near side of the field. It'll make it 4th down, and CNS will have to punt again.
I find it interesting that what's going on here is that we're going to the short side, CNS is. Here again is a short side play. They get Childers the ball, swinging out there. He's got a little bit of running room, but you can see nothing but West Genesee defenders there. And it looks like Jason Kowalczyk, who's been having a big game on that short side play linebacker, came up with the tackle again. 4th down, and they're punting.
Peter will take the snap, a good snap, gets the punt away, and Conklin will track it down for West Genesee. It takes the CNS bounce. The North Stars will cover it at about the 12-yard line of West Genesee, and that's where the Wildcats will start out for their second drive of the game, led by quarterback Jim D'Alterio, and he has a great arm, the second-ranked passer in Class AA.
And Jim has got a very good arm. It's the thing that was interesting is that Scott Conklin had started this season. Conklin is a good runner, and Conklin's been showing that he also has great hands. So like Joe Carruthers said before the game, what he decided to do is take his best passer, let his best passer play quarterback, and let his best receiver play receiver.
1st and 10 for West Genesee. Give it to the fullback again, Buscemi, his 3rd carry of the ball. And it's a little bit surprising to see Buscemi getting the call so often when D'Alterio is a passing quarterback.
Well, again, what they're doing is they're setting him up. There you see Buscemi is coming right up the gut there. He just slips. He had a lot of running room. You can see Billy Sullivan's throwing a great downfield block there. Now, it's going to be tough to run against the CNS defense. But if you can get them, if West Genesee can get them to respect the run, then it's going to open up the passing lanes.
2nd and 7 for the Wildcats. Backs are split. In motion is Conklin. The pitch to the near side of the field, and William Jones, he doesn't get much at all. And Damon Gusman was there along with Cameron Childers to make the tackle on the near side of the field.
Chad Farnsworth, a large lad and is a sophomore. He's 6'4", 215. Again, they're running short side. You see big Jim Kelsey out in front, but Kelsey can't block 3 people. Childers comes up, Farnsworth comes up, and that's why they're so tough. They pursue to the football. You have to get everyone to the football. Don't assume that someone's going to be tackled until you hear the whistle blow.
A gain of 3 yards on the play makes it 3rd and 4 for West Jenny. Ball spotted at the Wildcats' 19-yard line. The reverse to Jones. He takes it around the end, running to the wide side of the field, and it appears he picked up enough yardage for the 1st down, and they ran the reverse play to the right side, something they hadn't been doing, running to the wide side of the field.
Now, what this play was, Ted, is they faked the reverse to number 24, Dell, and Bill Ryder, and then they're just going to run their regular sweep. I believe what Joe Carruthers is doing is he's trying to get CNS to say, okay, they might run that reverse to Ryder, so I saw Ryder come one side, let's stay at home, and what it does is it keeps the defense from over-pursuing.
Gain of 6 yards on the play, enough for the 1st down, and on the 1st down play, the fullback Buscemi takes the ball straight up the middle. 5'8", 175-pound sophomore, picks up about 4 hard-earned yards on the play. Nice run by the fullback.
Buscemi's coming in here, playing for Bill Christ. Puts his head down, goes straight up the middle, carries some people for a couple of yards. Makes it 2nd down and 5. A beautiful situation to be in from an offensive standpoint, because now you've got a number of things you can do at this particular juncture.
Nice for your fullback to pick up 5 yards on a 1st down carry. Makes it 2nd and 5. Conklin in motion once again, left to right. They give this to Buscemi again, and he breaks ahead for the 1st down, takes the ball over the 40-yard line. Dave Buscemi has had his number called 5 times. He's done a fine job of giving West Genesee good field position.
Right now, Buscemi's warmed up. You need the ball a couple times as a running back to warm up, and there you can see he's feeling good. He puts a nice little move there, and brought down by Anthony Johnson. Anthony made a nice short tackle out there in the defensive backfield. But Buscemi's starting to warm up, and the thing is, they key on Will Jones. So with Buscemi playing well, it looks like it's going to be interesting from a West Genesee offensive standpoint.
Buscemi, 5 carries for 26 yards, and that time Jones on the carry, and he is stuffed. Not much yardage at all. Make that Mike Caraccio on the carry coming into the game. Reserve running back.
Mike was unceremoniously welcomed that time by the CNS defense, who had seen that dive play once too often, came up and made a good hit on him. Now Mike is split out to the wide side.
2nd and 10 for West Genesee. Receiver split wide to either side. Musemi takes the ball straight up the middle, and he fumbles. And it appears that the ball is recovered by CNS. Donald Mosher, the man covering the football for the North Stars. And CNS has taken the first quarter turnover, and the offense is back onto the field for CNS.
See, Musemi just lost the ball. He was carrying the ball pretty high. And right there, Donald Mosher comes up with the fumble recovery. Don played a great game against the Baldwinsville Bees. That time, the ball seemed to just pop free out of Musemi's hands. And what I think was happening was Musemi was holding the ball really tight, really up high. And what happens when you hold the ball that high, you get that arm action going. Sometimes the ball can actually hit against your own shoulder pads and come free. An unfortunate turnover from the West Genesee Wildcats standpoint.
So West Genesee turns the ball over on the final play of the first quarter. There's our score from Archie Hall Stadium in North Syracuse. We'll be back with the second quarter. You're watching New Channel Sports on Cable 13.
Life is a series of choices. What you eat, how you look, whether you do drugs or not. You know, cocaine, crack. See, only you can decide, because the only person responsible is you. Now, if you make the right choice, there's nothing you can't accomplish. If you make the wrong choice, all your other decisions are made for you.
Second quarter just underway. This is Ted DeLuca along with Ken Chase. No score between CNS and West Genesee. The North Stars running a first down play and not picking up much yardage at all makes it 2nd and 11 for CNS.
Before the game, I was talking to Coach Marzullo, and I said, Baldwinsville game, I was looking for that wide open offense. What happened? And he said, we never had the field position. I didn't want to put our defense in bad field position. He said, watch today. Things will be a little different today. So I'm looking for some wide open things, some fun razzle-dazzle plays for CNS.
We'll see what happens on 2nd down. 2nd and 11 as Gusman in motion again. Waterman to throw. He's chased out of the pocket, and he will be sacked by West Genesee. A good rush by the West Genesee defensive front to pull Waterman down. That'll make it 3rd and long for the North Stars.
Waterman goes back to pass. He looks, he's got somebody downfield, but it's too late. Darren McLaren's wrapped him up, and by that time he gets help from Mike Byrne, and they've sacked him for a 4-yard loss. They've got to get that backside blocked.
3rd and 15, and you can bet that we'll see Waterman throw the ball, or perhaps a reverse to the wide side of the field on 3rd down for CNS. Waterman takes the snap, takes the give, and will throw to the near side of the field. The pass is held up there for grabs, and West Genesee nearly intercepted it as Darren McLaren was back in pass coverage, almost came down with the football, but couldn't quite do it. That'll make it 4th down for CNS.
Cameron Childers made a good play from a defensive standpoint, even though he's on offense. You can see the backside rush coming in there. There's David Schneid putting the pressure. The ball goes right up in the air. McLaren with that wide receiver skills, and look at Childers just reached in and knocked the ball away, and what he did was he saved his team a turnover.
Waterman throwing off his back foot as he was trying to elude the rush. Teeter onto punt again, and he boots the ball away with his left foot, and Conklin will allow the punt to drop and roll, and it stops at the 25-yard line of West Genesee. That's where the Wildcats will take over possession. No score in the second quarter of play. 10 minutes and 13 seconds to go in the first half.
Now the field position that West Genesee is starting in is a little different than where they started before. Now they're starting at their 20-yard line. It's important for West Genesee to put some sort of drive together and to get things going so that they can show that the CNS defense isn't as tough as everyone's saying they are.
Ball spotted at the Wildcats' 21-yard line. They give this to the fullback, Yusamichi, again. He takes the ball over the 25-yard line to about the 28 or 29, depending on the spot. And he's done a great job for West Genesee getting the bulk of the offensive carries.
Again, a very key situation is 1st and 10. To be able to get more than 4 yards is important. And there you see him carrying the ball. He takes a very good hit from the inside by Childers, but he keeps going forward. The key thing as a running back, as we told the kids out there that emulate these guys, is to keep the legs running when you're playing running back. Even when you get hit from the side, keep your legs moving, keep your momentum going forward.
Yusamichi picks up a big 9 yards on 1st down. The 5'8", 175-pound sophomore. There you see Tom Marzullo, the head coach of the CNS North Stars, yelling instructions to his defensive players. 2nd and 1 for West Genesee. Jones on the carry after the fake to the fullback. And it appears that he picked up enough yardage for West Genesee 1st down.
Quillen Jones, 5'7", 155-pound junior, plays much bigger than his stature. Quillen's ranks 3rd in rushing and scoring in the league. And he's a tough kid. You'll look for Quillen to get outside or try to get outside against the CNS defense. And when he can get outside, he's got tremendous speed.
1st down for West Genesee as the Wildcats move from left to right in the 2nd quarter of play. Backs are split. The Alterio rolls to the left side, runs the option with his fullback, Yusamichi. He gets around the end, very close to a 1st down, depending on the spot of where he was dragged down. And from our vantage point, it does look like West Genesee has itself another 1st down.
On this particular play, it's the option. The Alterio, who is not a running quarterback, gets the ball to the tackle slot and gives it to the man who can run the ball, Musamichi. You can see here Gusman just goes down, misses the tackle, but Musamichi goes down over top of him. If Gusman didn't come up, Musamichi had a lot of room to roam.
Another 1st down for the Wildcats. Quick handoff to Jones, straight up the middle. Gain of about 2 or 3 yards on the play.
Now, this is something that's surprising because CNS is so tough in between their tackles with George, Villeneuve, O'Connor, and Farnsworth up front, and Mike Warner in the middle. It wasn't suspected that West Genny was going to be able to run the ball effectively against this defense, but they seem to be able to do that so far.
2nd and 9. Yusamichi on the carry, straight up the middle. He'll pick up a yard or 2, not much more than that, as the CNS defensive front, as you just mentioned, Ken, was up there to make the tackle.
Just as I speak, here's Musamichi, and he takes a tremendous wallop there by Big Chad Farnsworth. Farnsworth coming from his defensive end position, and what he was doing on that particular play is called pinching. He was coming down, he wasn't containing, he wasn't worried about the ball getting outside. His job was just to come down. Oh, I see, Farnsworth has switched from defensive end, and he's now playing defensive tackle.
3rd down for West Genesee. The Alterio to throw. Has time. Fires over the middle. Pass is tipped up, and it will fall incomplete as the North Stars, with some nice defensive coverage back there along with Damon Gusman, Tom Marzullo. And that'll make it 4th down for West Genesee, as we saw the Alterio showcase the arm he's got. Pass intended for Conklin, but the CNS secondary was there to knock the ball away.
There's a big blitz coming up the middle by Kareem Aikman. He came up the middle, basically came in untouched, and that forced the ball to be thrown just a little quicker than he wanted to without getting his receivers open. Marzullo came up with a very big play there.
4th down for West Genesee. Jones to punt. Gustman stands back at the 22-yard line of CNS. Low snap, but Jones will get the kick away just barely. It's an end-over-end kick and rolls to the far side of the field. West Genesee will wait for the ball to stop rolling. The Wildcats cover inside the 30. The CNS offense back onto the field. Neither team has scored here in the 2nd quarter of play. 7 minutes, 25 seconds to go till the half. And the North Stars offensively still trying to get something going against West Genesee.
What is going on now is a battle of field position. I think both coaches realize that it's important to sustain a drive, and at this particular point, with the ball being on the 28-yard line, for CNS to at least advance the ball into West Genesee territory, because then if they have to punt, they will have their defense, their strong suit on the field, holding down the West Genesee Wildcats.
Wishbone backfield for CNS. Marzullo on the carry. Gets away from a couple of would-be tacklers. A nice run by Tom Marzullo. Marzullo, 5'5", 155-pound senior.
Tom Marzullo the fourth. Tom Marzullo picks the hole, does a good job. It's supposed to go outside. You see him fake to the outside, set up his block, goes back inside. And at that particular time, the cut gained him an extra 4 or 5 yards. And what that does is it gives his dad a chance to make an interesting call at 2nd and 5.
Once again, the full house backfield employed by CNS. They're going to run right as Childers takes the carry. Picks up about 3 yards to the right side behind the fullback Mike Warner and Tom Marzullo leading the way.
Again, that's another fine example of keeping the legs moving. Childers, he's rushed so far for 107 yards on 26 carries. About a 4-point average. Childers is just running a sweep to the outside, looking for some room to run. And there's Jason Kowalczyk coming up with another tackle. Jason, who's stepping in there. He didn't start last week, but he's starting this week, and he's looking very good.
3rd and a long 2 yards to go for CNS. Once again, the full house backfield. Marzullo on the carry. He'll pick up the first down and more as he heads toward midfield. He's dragged down at about the 47-yard line. Another good carry by Marzullo. It's a first down for CNS.
Marzullo's got what's called quick feet. Watch the little stutter step. Stutter, and then he's going to just, if someone tried to rip the ball away, there's the quick cut. He gets by McLaren. That's a nice move. That's what picks him up the extra 4 yards, and that's the first down. Marzullo's got good vision, and what that does is it helps him to cut, to move, and to make the effective running plays.
CNS stays with the full house backfield. Childers on the carry, and he is dragged down by the West Genesee defensive front. Matt Byrne in there on the play to drag down CNS staying with that full house backfield with good success so far with the 3 backs in there.
Look, knowing Coach Marzullo as I know him, this is now he's got the field position, and with the field position, he'll try things that are a little more risky by running flea flickers and things like that. What that does is there's a higher chance of turnovers. Now, if you turn the ball over the 50-yard line, that's okay because you got a tough defense.
2nd and 9 for CNS. A fumble off the snap. Waterman tried to cover as he and center Rob Zackel didn't quite handle the exchange. CNS did cover. And it looks like the North Stars might have picked up a yard or two on the fumble.
It's also starting to rain out here, and that could make a difference. You see, there's a little hesitation by Zackel. Waterman dives in there to get the ball back. Now, that's interesting because Josh Grun, who was the starting quarterback and broke his right thumb on his throwing hand, he's usually the quarterback, and there is a cadence that they get used to. With the Waterman in there, it might be a different cadence, and definitely the exchange has to be different.
3rd and 5 for CNS. And on the pitch, CNS will have to lose some yardage as Marzullo will try to track it down for the North Stars. Waterman was nailed as he tried to pitch it to Marzullo as CNS running the option to the near side of the field. A great defensive play by West Genesee to force CNS way back into its own territory.
Like I was saying on the option, you get pressure on the quarterback, force him to pitch the ball quickly, and because it's the option, you're talking about a chance where the ball is going to be pitched out. It's raining, it's slippery, something can happen, and that's exactly what did happen to CNS. You're talking about the potential of a turnover. That's why if you're going to run plays like that, it's better to run the play when you're in the middle of the field, the 50-yard line, because if you do have a turnover, you've got plenty of room to work with.
Peter will punt as CNS is forced to cut short its drive. Punt is away just barely as West Genesee put on a good rush. Ball bounced to the far side of the field. It will stop rolling at about the 35-yard line of West Genesee. That's where the Wildcats will take over possession. Ken, I'm a little bit surprised that neither team has been able to score so far. I know it's been a battle of field position, and it's tough to start out with the ball inside your own 20, but still, neither team able to put any points on the board.
It seems that both defenses have to get credit here because the CNS defense has allowed West Genny a couple of first downs, but again, they stiffen. And it's been happening on the opposite end of that particular form. When you're talking about West Genesee, they've allowed a couple of first downs, and then all of a sudden they've come up with the big play.
1st and 10 from the West Genny 36-yard line. Quick inside handoff.
Looks like that tough man, Samichi, in the middle again, running the ball up the middle, picked up a couple of yards.
Yusamichi did pick up 2 yards on the carry. The quick give to the fullback inside makes it 2nd and 8 for West Genesee from the Wildcat 38-yard line. We've got 2.5 minutes to go in the first half of play. Neither team on the board just yet. CNS and West Genesee are scoreless. 2nd down for the Wildcats. Yusamichi, the lone back. Conklin in motion. He will take it. Actually, Dalterio has time to throw. Looking downfield, complete to his tight end, Darren McLaren, who falls down after making the catch at about the 30-yard line.
Darren McLaren came up with a couple of big catches against Liverpool, comes up with a big catch right here. McLaren, who's 6'1", 197, the target to find. You see there's a double fake on that wing T offense. Alterio airs it out. Gussman, a good DB, is beaten right there, and McLaren, and naturally, since this is high school, you can't get up and run. If this was the pros, McLaren would have been able to get up, and he would have scored 6 points.
First down for West Jenny from the 30. The fullback, Yusamichi, on the carry, straight up the middle. Still trying to push that pile forward. He'll pick up about 3 yards on the play. And going back to that fake off the wing tee, a good job by D'Alterio, not only to fake it to the fullback, but also to Conklin in motion.
That's right. Conklin was coming around the end, and he faked the ball to the wing as if it was going to be a sweep that they've seen. And again, it's like I said in the beginning, they set up that by running the ball effectively. When you run the ball effectively, your DBs creep up a little more, which allows the wide receivers to get in back of them.
Yusamichi picks up 5 yards on the play. D'Alterio to throw again. Rolls left. Fires for McLaren. The ball will fall incomplete. Just a bit high for the tight end. 6'1" junior, Darren McLaren, making that reception just a few moments ago. Second one falls incomplete.
D'Alterio had his man that time. There's the fake in the belly to Jones. He's running what's called the waggle. He's got a guard out there stealing for him. He's got McLaren wide open and just overshoots him a little bit. Now let me tell you folks out there, it's starting to rain out here, so that's going to play a factor.
D'Alterio fires over the middle, complete to his tight end, Bill Sullivan. So if he can't get the ball to McLaren, he'll try and find Sullivan, the 6'3" senior tight end, making his 10th catch of the season. The first down for West Genesee as the chains move.
D'Alterio with the pump fake, and then hitting the tight end over the middle. What the pump fake does is it freezes the linebackers and allows the tight end to slip into the seam. That was very well done. He's very well coached, obviously.
Time ticking away in the first half. 1 minute and 3 seconds to go. 1st and 10 from the 13-yard line. A fumble, and it looked like D'Alterio may have covered. We'll wait for them to unfile, but it looks like D'Alterio did manage to fall on the football after he wasn't able to make a clean exchange with his center, Brian Vitella.
As I said, with the rain out, now watch the ball just slip right out of his hands. It's a rubberized football. With the rubber, you would think that when it rains that you'd get a better grip, but when you get the mud on your hands and the dirt and everything, you can no longer get the kind of grip that you have when it's dry out. You get that ball in your hands, and there's people rooting for Scotty O'Connor. If you get that ball in your hands and you've got a little bit of mud and grass on there, it's easy for the ball to slip right out of there. Again, there are new rules. You're not allowed to use any of that stuff that Fred Politnikoff and the guys in the Raiders use, all that gel and the stickum and everything. Even though I know guys that still use it that play pro football, but you're not supposed to use that anymore, and quarterbacks can't use it anyway, and D'Alterio just had the ball slip out of his hands.
Looks like the rain has stopped a little bit. With 44 seconds to go in the first half of play, West Genesee head coach Joe Carruthers has called a timeout to talk things over with his team offensively. A loss of 3 yards on that last play makes it 2nd and 13, and no doubt that Joe is trying to figure out a way with his offense to get the ball into the end zone as time ticks away in the first half.
It's going to be important that they try to get in the end zone. They've got a couple of plays. Pass plays are probably the best because if they fall incomplete, there's no time that continues to tick off the clock.
2nd and 13 from the 16-yard line. D'Alterio fakes the give to the tailback and gives instead.
Looks like Billy Ryder.
Mike Caraccio on the carry for West Genesee. And head coach Joe Carruthers wants another timeout as the clock will not stop on that play. After a gain of 3 yards for the Wildcats, it'll make it 3rd and 10 with 35 seconds to go. And now the rain is really coming down here in North Syracuse.
Doesn't stop the cheerleaders. Cheerleaders continue to go through all of that. They're tough. The cheerleaders come out there, give their all. And there's some of the CNS faithful that are leaning over and taking a good gander at what's going on at this good football game. You know, I think sometimes, Ted, people think that a game has to be big scoring for it to be a great football game. Football is really, like Vince Lombardi said, football is still a game of blocking and tackling and hitting. And these people are seeing a good football game from that standpoint. Not a lot of points on the board, but a lot of good fundamentals going on out there.
A good turnout for both teams. Both stands on either side of the field are filled. A home game here at Archie Hall Stadium for CNS, and the North Star faithful have turned out as the rain falls. And now we're ready for play to resume again in the second quarter. 35 seconds to go before the half. 3rd and 10 for West Genesee from the 14-yard line of CNS. Caraccio in motion. D'Alterio fakes the give to him and throws near side for Sullivan. He will try to get into the end zone, and he makes it for a touchdown. West Genesee from 14 yards out. D'Alterio to Sullivan, and they lead it 6-0.
That's the play that they tried to run on the other side, and D'Alterio overshot McLaren. They tried that same play. They came back to the right side, and they found Billy Sullivan wide open, and that's 6 points.
Sullivan's second reception of the game, good for a touchdown. And Nick Liccamelia is on the field to attempt the PAT for West Genny, leading it now 6-0 with just 29 seconds to go in the first half of play.
A look from the end zone camera. We can see if it's good right from here.
A flag now on the play, as one of the players may have lined up offsides.
Could be one of those famous encroachment calls.
We'll wait to see if the call is against the offense or the defense.
Everybody was moving on that play.
So in essence, nothing happened on that play as one player or maybe a couple for CNS over the line of scrimmage as well as a couple from West Genesee. Liccamelli is still awaiting the kick, and there's the quick snap, and he takes the pitch, and he will make it into the end zone for the 2-point conversion. So West Genesee running a little razzle-dazzle on that play and tacking up an extra 2 points on the board.
What happens is when the center looks down, the center looks up and takes a look to see how many people are defending him, the holder, and the kicker. If they've got the right numbers, they run the option on that play. And what they do is they snap the ball to the holder. The holder then becomes the quarterback in the option. And then he pitches the ball to the kicker. This is Liccamelli. Liccamelli shows he can not only can he kick, but he can also go and get the football. There's his ball swinging out to the right side. That's the same play that they ran to the left side. Billy Sullivan's open, takes a good hit by Tom Marzullo, but it's too late. He's in the end zone for a touchdown. And what happens is Billy Sullivan comes from the left side of the field. So if you're not playing man-to-man, your zone coverage has got to be aware that the tight end is coming all the way across from one side to the other. And that particular situation, they must have been the zone coverage, and with Tommy Marzullo being too far back to come up and make the play on Big Billy Sullivan, it resulted in 6 points for West Genesee.
There you can see the rain is falling here at Archie Hall Stadium as West Genesee leads the ball game 8-0 with 29 seconds to play in the first half. Liccamelli will kick the ball away from his own 40-yard line. A trio of CNS receivers back deep. It's a squib kick and taken by one of the front men for CNS after a return of about 5 yards. Casey Brown, tight end for CNS on the return. He's knocked out of bounds after about a 5-yard return. And CNS will start out with the ball at about the 39-yard line. 25 seconds to go in the first half. Tom Marzullo and CNS trailing Joe Carruthers and West Genesee 8-0 here in the rain. First and 10 from the 39 for the North Stars. Backs are split behind the quarterback Waterman as the rain continues to fall at Archie Hall Stadium. He drops back to throw. He's got some time, fires over the middle. The pass is intercepted by Conklin. Scott Conklin on the interception for West Genesee, playing center field. The safety making the play, and just like that, West Genesee's offense back onto the field.
What happens here is this is just a straight drop back. Chad sets up, gets hit just as soon as he released the football, and there's a great play by Conklin. Conklin was right in front of the receiver, looked just like a flanker receiving the football, took the ball downfield. Now, this is not bad from a CNS standpoint because it's almost like a punt. It's you got the ball in decent field position, so when you threw the ball, you knew you were going to give it up around the 35-yard line, which is what they did. And West Genesee just lets the time run off the clock.
The Wildcats don't have time to run a play before the end of the half, but inside the final minute of the first half, West Genesee scores 8 points. The Wildcats lead it at the half, 8-0. You're watching New Channel Sports on Cable 13.
It's easy to think one person can't make a difference, but 200 million people can. If every one of us volunteered just 5 hours a week to the causes we care about, if we all donated just 5% of what we earn, there'd be almost no limit to what we can do. Just 5 hours, just 5%. When you think about it, it's not that much to give. And what we could get back is immeasurable.
Welcome back to New Channel Sports on Cable 13. We are at the half here at Archie Hall Stadium as we are enjoying the sounds of the Cicero North Syracuse marching band, and at the half, West Genesee is on top, leading the Cicero North Syracuse North Stars 8-0. And as we always like to do at the half here on New Channel Sports during our football coverage in the fall is meet the cheerleaders for each squad. And first of all, Ken, the cheerleaders for the West Genesee Wildcats.
It's Tasha DeWaters, Katie Dolan, Captain Beth Doyle, Colleen Galvin, Carrie Hosworth, Lori Kess, Sarah Ryan, Lisa Petracci, and Lisa's also a captain, Tina Rosbowski, Tracy Rosnovich, Susie Tracy, and Kelly Walker. And they're coached by Nancy Doyle.
And the halftime festivities continue here at Archie Hall Stadium. There you see one of the flutists for the Cicero North Syracuse marching band putting on a great show for the home crowd here tonight. The rain holding off a bit as the teams are getting ready for the second half. CNS trailing the ball game 8-0 at the half. And now we're set to take a look at the Cicero North Syracuse cheerleaders. The co-captains are Amy Fazio and Kathy Witz, and the rest of the cheerleaders, Michelle Grom, Janelle Kogan, Tisa Smorelli, Tarsha Simon, Katie Reynolds, Laurie Timmons, Roseanne Powerlin, Nicole Marlowe, Dinah Jarmack, and there you see the CNS mascot standing in the back row, David Grover, and the coach of the CNS varsity cheerleaders, Sandy Hartman. And the North Star Marching Band continues to entertain the crowd here at the half, here at Archie Hall Stadium. We'll take a look. We'll be back with the halftime statistics as our coverage continues on New Channel Sports as we listen to the CNS Marching Band. You're watching New Channel Sports on Cable 13.
like being on top of the world. Everyone says so. Everyone seems to be having one dandy old time. Hey, it's part of growing up. Or is it? Just think about this. Before you go and do something you've never done before, you just better know what you're jumping into.
Hey, yo, buckle up. Don't even press your luck. I can tell you over and over, but it won't be enough. Some say it ain't cool, but that's irrelevant. Don't be a fool. Say you don't need it. You must be crazy. A lot of other people thought they knew. It happened to them, and it can happen to you. So buckle up. Hey, yo, we all wear our safety belts.
I didn't.
Welcome back to Archie Hall Stadium in North Syracuse. We're getting set for the second half of play between West Genesee and CNS. And now, Ken, let's take a look at the halftime stats.
As you can see, West Genesee, 66 yards rushing. Rushing means that you've had control of the ball. 121 yards to 33 yards for CNS. That's very surprising because West Genesee was not supposed to come out as far as being an offensive team here. So let's see what happens this second half.
CNS kicks the ball away to West Genesee. We have a flag thrown on the play as the kickoff went out of bounds. So CNS will lose 5 yards and re-kick as we're getting set to start the second half.
Coach Joe Carruthers has got to be very pleased with his offensive output of the West Genesee team. 121 yards against a very, very tough CNS defense. And let me tell you, this CNS defense only gave up 8 points to the number 16th ranked team in the state, which is Baldwinsville. And that was an 8-0 contest.
CNS very strong defensively with that tough defensive front. And a good secondary. And now West Genesee will take over possession at the 37-yard line after the kickoff bounded out of bounds. That's where the Wildcats decide that they'll take the ball. So it's 1st and 10 for West Genesee from the 37-yard line. Backs are split behind the quarterback, D'Alterio. The pitch back to Caraccio. He gets around the right side and pushes the ball up to about the 40-yard line. So West Genesee declining the penalty. The Wildcats taking over possession at the 37. A gain of 4 yards on that play makes it 2nd and 6.
That was a great decision by Coach Carruthers. You get the ball in great field position because here all you have to do is generate 1 first down and then another 2 yards and you're into CNS territory. So that was a wise decision to decline the penalty and take the ball where it went out of bounds. 2nd and 6 from the 41. Conklin in motion. Pitch to the near side of the field and Musumeci. He pushes the ball ahead over midfield to about the 45-yard line of CNS. Another great run by the fullback, Musumeci, and he pretty much has been the story on the ground for West Genny so far. Musumeci is the reason that West Genesee has held the ball in their time possession. Right here you're seeing he's going to the short side. Switch the ball into his right hand. That's important for you kids out there when you're running down the sideline and you get to one side, you've got the ball, you want to put it in the hand that the sideline's on, so if the ball gets hit from the inside, that's where the pressure is going to be. The ball will just go out of bounds.
For Musumeci, 12 carries, 67 yards. The give is to Conklin. On the reverse, he takes to the far side of the field, has some room to run, and is knocked out of bounds inside the 40-yard line at about the 39. Maybe a good call on first down, running to the wide side of the field. That's something neither team really did in the first half, was run to that wide side.
Let me explain why they don't run to the wide side. Most times what you do is you have your wide corner, and then you have your strong safety on the wide side of the field. So what you do is, on defense, you're unbalanced to the wide side. That's why these two teams are taking advantage of running to the short side, because most times there aren't as many defenders on that side. That time they ran to the wide side, and they were very effective.
Conklin picked up 7 yards, make it 2nd and 3. He's in motion again. The pitch to the far side of the field, and Jones. He breaks down the far side of the field, open running room, and he will get into the end zone for the touchdown. From 38 yards out, Willem Jones scampers in for the touchdown.
Willem Jones, as I said earlier, we're talking about speed to burn, and he showed it going right down the sideline there.
Jones exploded after finding the open running room down the far sideline, and he just blew past the CNS defenders and those secondary men to get into the end zone for the touchdown from 38 yards out. That makes it 14-0 West Genesee, and Nick Liccamelli is onto the field to attempt the PAT. Joe Dell will hold, and he's set to slap the ball down at the 10. Liccamelli's kick is up, and it's good. It splits the uprights, and just like that, with about a minute, or exactly a minute gone by in the third quarter of play, West Genesee has increased its lead to 15-0.
It didn't need anything real exciting there from the standpoint of throwing the ball in the air or any flea flickers or anything like that. It was just a quick pitch to Gwilyn Jones, and Gwilyn goes right down the sideline. And right there's a crushing block by one of the West Genesee guys on Childers, and now it's just Jones and speed, and he beats Anthony Johnson into the end zone, puts the left hand up in the air, and 6 points for West Genesee Wildcats.
That block and Jones' speed made the play for Joe Carruthers and the Wildcats.
And here you've got a smaller team than a Baldwinsville Bees. You've got a team that's executing very correctly, and they're showing that you don't have to be big monstrous type people to be able to get points on the board.
Liccamelli gets set to kick the ball away from the 40-yard line of West Genesee. A trio of North Stars stand back deep, and Gussman will track it down at the 5. That's where he begins his return. Takes it toward midfield, running east-west. He's being pursued by some Wildcats, and he slips on the wet turf and falls down after a gain of about 10 yards on the return. Ball will be spotted at about the 14-yard line of CNS, and Damon Gussman choosing to run lengthwise rather than up and down the field.
Well, at this particular time, now watch Gussman. He's looking to the left side. He's getting ready to start up the middle of the field. Up the middle of the field is where you're going to get most of your yards. Unfortunately, from Gussman's standpoint, he made the decision to go wide after the defenders for West Genesee had adjusted to that. If he had initially tried to go to the left side or the wide side of the field, perhaps he would have been able to use the speed to get outside. But he didn't do it that particular time.
1st and 10 from the 14. And Damon Gussman is into the game at quarterback, and on his first snap from center, he falls down at the 5-yard line. So Gussman once again slips on the wet turf. He has been installed at quarterback, replacing Chad Waterman, and that's something that head coach Tom Marzillo said, was that he would go to Gussman if need be.
There was a lot of pressure coming right up the middle by Brian Detalis, and that's what caused Damon to slip and fall down. But at that particular time, what they were looking for was Ellis. Ellis was running a streak straight down the field, and I got to tell you something, Teddy, he was wide open.
But instead, a 9-yard loss for CNS makes it 2nd and 19 from the North Star 8-yard line.
Man-to-man coverage on the outside by West Genesee.
And a handoff inside run by the North Stars, straight up the middle, as Gussman not throwing deep in his own territory. Instead, giving it to Cameron Childers, who picks up a couple yards up the middle.
It's a conservative play. Oh, it was just supposed to be a handoff to Warner. There's a loose football, and there's Childers coming in doing a great play to cover the ball up. If Childers didn't come in to cover that football up there, that would have been West Genesee ball on the 10-yard line, and if West Genesee had scored then, that could have been a nail in the coffin. Look for something conservative here because they don't want any turnovers. CNS doesn't.
3rd down and 16. Ball at the 10-yard line. Gussman takes the snap, and on the option, he will keep it. He gets to the outside. He has some speed. He breaks away from the defenders and is forced out of bounds at about the 39-yard line. Good enough for the first down. Damon Gussman calling his own number on the option play. He keeps it and picks up the first down for CNS with a nice run.
Gussman running the option. You see, he's going to fake the Childers, and as he fakes the Childers, he looks at Childers again, gets the defenders off him, does a great job to keep his balance, gets a nice block there by Childers, and now it's down the sideline, and you see Dave Snide, he's got the angle. Snide came all the way from his left linebacker position to chase him down. That's great hustle by David Snide, and also outstanding individual effort by Damon Gussman to pick up the first down. A much-needed first down, might I add, by the CNS North Stars.
Great block by the tailback Childers to spring him. 1st and 10 for CNS. Gussman will throw. Has time in the pocket. Fires down the near sideline for Ellis. Ball incomplete. And Gussman showcases that he has indeed got a great arm at the quarterback spot for CNS, playing his first couple downs at the quarterback spot this season, but overthrowing his wide receiver Steve Ellis down the near sideline.
That's the play they tried to do when they first opened up and Gustin slipped and fell down. And as I said, Ellis just ran straight down the field. That's all he was doing. Ellis has great hands. And I saw him run a couple of comebacks in the last game that they played against Baldwinsville. Look for something like that, for Ellis to run some curls, things along that line, because as you can see, West Jenny they have 9 guys up on the line of scrimmage.
2nd and 10. Gusman will run the option again. They have a flag thrown on the play. The second flag we've seen in the game so far. That could be a hold by one of those CNS offensive linemen.
You prophet. Whenever you see the flag going right in the middle of the line, it's usually holding.
So the North Stars will lose 10 yards.
Unless they decide not to take it because they stopped them. They stuffed them right there. I called holding on one of the interior linemen for the CNS North Stars, and they are going to accept the penalty.
That'll take it 2nd and 20.
That was an interesting decision because you could have had 3rd down and 10 yards to go. And Coach Carruthers opted to take the penalty. So look at the top of the screen, and you can see the hold right there. And that's where the flag comes down. Great defensive play there by the outside linebacker. Coach Carruthers deciding to take the penalty and hoping to get the ball punted to him in better field position. Again, man-to-man coverage.
2nd and 20 for CNS. Gusman will throw. Takes a quick drop and tries to get away from the rush. A flag is down. He gets the ball away. It will fall incomplete. We have a flag thrown on the play as West Genesee pulling down Gusman, and face mask is the preliminary indication against CNS. One of the referees had indicated that the call was against CNS, then the other one stepped up and made the call that it was against West Genesee. You never see a face mask called against an offensive squad. That's something I really ought to know.
15-yard penalty, face mask, defense.
And that call will benefit CNS after losing 10 yards with that holding penalty.
Straight drop back by Gusman. He's getting a nice deep drop, setting up. He's looking for his receivers. Now he's getting pressure from Talis. Talis is right around him. Remember, there isn't any rule in high school football about in the grasp. You've got to put the quarterback down. So if this had been a pro game, he would have been called in the grasp at that particular time by Talis, but he wasn't. He got a chance to get rid of the football. And what happens is the defensive linemen are coming in, and they're reaching and grabbing for anything to get this guy away from him. And obviously a defensive lineman had grabbed someone's face mask and pulled them out of the way, and perhaps that's why there was so much pressure on Gusman on that particular play.
Good decision by Gusman to get rid of the ball. There you see him, number 7, 6'1" senior, calling the signals. It's 2nd and 10, and he will run the option again to the far side of the field. Turns the corner and breaks away for the first down and more down the far sideline, and he's pushed out of bounds at about the 26-yard line. So on the second time of this drive, Damon Gusman picks up big yardage as he runs the option and keeps the ball himself.
Here's a great way to ensure that you get the ball in the hands of one of your more exciting ball players. Make him the quarterback and tell him to run the option. You see right there, Snide has responsibility for the pitch man. So Snide went outside on the pitch. No one came up to hit Gusman, and now he's got plenty of room to roll. McLaren there. McLaren has to force him out of bounds. And the biggest drive killer of them all.
Well, we got a clip on the offense.
Clipping on CNS. And what's going to happen is they're going to go to the spot of the infraction, and then they're going to mark off the yardage.
And that is a tough call for the North Stars to take. Gusman getting the ball well downfield, but the flag thrown way back. The North Stars will lose a ton of yardage.
Again, it's 2nd down, and we've seen a number of 2nd down plays already. Let's see what Coach Marzullo can reach into his hat and into that bag of tricks and pull out something else.
2nd and 16 for the North Stars after that big 32-yard gain by Damon Gussman nullified. There you see the penalty situation. Gussman at quarterback takes the snap and rolls to the near side of the field, tries to get away from the run. He doesn't have to keep it himself. He's trailed by a bunch of West Genesee defenders, and he's pushed out of bounds at the 45-yard line, close to the first down marker. That'll make it third and about 4 yards for CNS.
I don't think Gussman had any intentions on throwing this football. Once he gets to this point here, now he's just showing the ball. Yeah, I'm showing it to you. He's not going to throw it, though. What he's doing is watch him pick the ball up and fake like he's going to throw it again. He's already 10 yards downfield. All he's trying to do is to get the secondary people not to come up so quickly, so he'll have more room to roam. And now he's picked up a considerable chunk of yardage and it's given his team an opportunity to pick up a first down where after that clipping penalty and the holding penalty, no one would have thought it was going to happen.
And thanks to Damon Gussman, they have that chance. Brian Detellis and the rest of the West Genesee defensive front will try and hold the line of scrimmage. 3rd and 3 for CNS from the 45-yard line of the North Stars. Gussman will throw. Nearly slips, but keeps his feet, throws down over the middle. That pass intended for one of the North Star wide receivers in on the play.
And that was a very good, that was a nice pass, but unfortunately, the pass wasn't led, he didn't lead him just enough. You see right here, or I should say he led him too much. The ball's going down and it's just out of his outstretched hands there. Good coverage by Joe Dell, who was right there in a man-to-man coverage, and that's kind of tough on the corners. You're going to see the ball going in the air a lot more because what's happening is West Genesee is putting 8 guys up on the line. They're doing a lot of things to try and stop the running game of CNS, and it's putting a lot of pressure on the corners because we're just like in the Bears defense, they're on the corner.
4th down for the North Stars. Gussman and the rest of the CNS offense will run that play on 4th down, and he throws an incompletion, nearly a pass intercepted by David Schneid at the 50-yard line, but the ball had bounced, and West Genesee will take over offensive possession. It's 1st down for the Wildcats.
Could be a big turning point in the football game for CNS. It was 4th and 3. Gussman goes back to throw. He's got a lot of pressure, and no one came back to the football to help him out. So Gussman was there by himself, and unfortunately for CNS fans, the pass went incomplete. It's 1st and 10. Now, a lot of people are probably wondering why they didn't punt the ball. It was a very important juncture in the game, and with 7:55 left, what they wanted to do is to keep the drive and the momentum going. Coach Marzullo is hoping that his defense can stiffen right now.
1st and 10 for the Wildcats. Give it to the fullback, Yusamichi, and he'll pick up about 2 yards to take the ball down to the 43-yard line of CNS. The Wildcats leading the game 15-0 with 7:40 to play in the 3rd quarter. The North Stars trying to be tough on defense as West Genesee is on offense again, trying to increase that 15-point lead. Wildcats 1-2 on the season, CNS 2-1. It's 2nd and 9 for West Genesee. Conklin in motion, right to left, behind the quarterback. And Alterio not able to hang on to the snap. He did cover the football. So West Genesee retains possession after a near fumble.
The ball's a little slick because the grass is a little slick. You can see that no one's getting good traction, and D'Alterio just covers up the football there. Smart move on his part. West Genesee wants to get a 1st down so they can keep the clock ticking because the clock is an ally for them right now, up 15-0.
3rd and 9 for West Genesee. Horacio in motion, takes to the fullback. D'Alterio rolls near side, fires complete for Sullivan. Very close to the 1st down. He's dragged down at about the 35-yard line, very close to the 1st down marker, and depending on the spot, West Genesee might have itself a 1st down.
Exact play they scored their first touchdown on. Sullivan coming from the left side all the way across, and there's a good sure tackle there by number 24, Anthony Johnson, the 5'10", 165-pound senior, to bring down Big Billy Sullivan with looks like about a yard to go for a 1st down. I'm sure that West Genesee is going to go for it.
It'll be 4th and a long 1 yard to go for the Wildcats.
Here's Jim Alterio, 5 for 7, 64 yards, having a good day throwing the ball.
The pitches to Jones, and he appeared to pick up the first down as he followed the lead of his blockers on the right side of the offensive line. And it does look like West Genesee did pick up the first down.
Looks like that old USC play, student body left, quarterback D'Alterio's in there, everybody's in there, and they're pushing forward for a tough 2 yards, but they pick up the first down, keep the clock moving.
Wildcats on the move as the rain continues to fall here at Archie Hall Stadium. West Genesee leads it 15-0. Chad Farnsworth, the sophomore defensive end for CNS. He's big, 6'4" tall. There you see the first down situation on the night. West Jenny on top of that category, 8-4. They just picked up another. It's 1st and 10 for the Wildcats. Pitch to Jones on the far side of the field. He breaks away from one tackler in the backfield and manages to get a couple of yards, 2 or 3 yards. As the Wildcats continue to move, the clock continues to roll. We're down to 5 minutes and 45 seconds to go in the third quarter. West Genesee up 15-0.
On this drive, the big play so far has been the waggle, where D'Alterio rolled out, and a waggle again is when you fake the sweep and then put the ball on your hip, roll out one side and hit your tight end crossing, and hit Sullivan for that 9-yard pickup that's allowed this drive to continue to keep going.
Jones picks up 3 yards on the play. 2nd and 7 for West Genesee. D'Alterio to throw. Down the far sideline. Pass intended for Sullivan falls incomplete. He was double covered. The tight end, Bill Sullivan, trying to use his height, 6 feet 3 inches tall, but couldn't pull it in. Nice coverage by CNS.
Great coverage there. D'Alterio stands tall in the pocket. He's looking downfield. He's got Sullivan. Sullivan gets a hand on it. Defender sticks his hand in there, and that's a good play by Chris Plumley, who just got a hand in and kept his eye on the ball. Defensive backs have to remember that you have to knock the ball down. If you knock the ball up, there's a possibility that the offensive receiver can come in there and still maintain position and get the ball.
3rd and 7. Conklin in motion again. D'Alterio gives to his fullback, Yusamichi, who takes it straight up the middle and does a good job of picking up about 6 yards, but that will be short of the first down for West Genesee.
Watch Yusamichi. Watch the ball. Watch where he takes the ball. He takes the ball and puts it over someone's head right there, and that's real dangerous. Sticks the ball out to try and get those extra yards. He's got to have either great hands or a lot of skill, because that's tough to do, to hold the ball like that and to swing it around. I'm sure Coach Brothers is going to say, take care of that ball, treat it like a baby, because it's so important. We don't want any turnovers here.
4:45 to play, third quarter. 4th and 2. West Genesee will go for it. Receivers split wide to either side. Jones, the lone back. He takes the pitch, and he stumbles behind the line of scrimmage. CNS covers, and the North Stars hold on 4th down, and they'll take over on offense. Looked like Willin Jones fell down, slipping on the wet turf as the rain continues here at Archie Hall Stadium, and the North Stars take over offensive possession.
It was a nice drive by West Genesee. They took about 6 minutes off the clock just by holding on to the football. CNS now has to mount the drive at this particular time to A, gain respect, and to B, to cut the deficit that's 15-0 West Genesee lead.
Damon Gussman is in the game at quarterback, and we have seen his ability to run with the football and also to make those long passes downfield.
Gussman is giving them the option that the Philadelphia Eagles have with Randall Cunningham, which is he can throw the ball, and if he doesn't have someone open, he's gonna run it.
1st and 10 for CNS. Quick out to the near side to Ellis, and he will throw downfield, but his pass falls short. That pass was intended for the tight end, K.C. Brown, but Conklin was there, and pass coverage for West Genesee. That'll make it 2nd down.
Now, usually in the CNS, what happens with CNS is that pass is thrown to Damon Gussman, and Gussman then throws the ball downfield. Ellis, being in an unusual position to throw the ball, and with the ball being a little slippery, did not get the kind of pass away that he'd like to have. And Casey Brown would have liked to have had a reception on that particular play. But it's 2nd and 10 for CNS.
So the wet football playing a role on that play. It'll make it 2nd and 10 for CNS as the North Stars and their fans tonight hoping that CNS can get back into the game, trailing 15-0. Gussman on the option play to the far side of the field, keeps it himself, but is unable to turn it upfield as we've seen him a couple times before. There's a flag down on the play, and since that play directed toward the outside, maybe one of the interior linemen for CNS guilty of a hold.
I think it was probably a personal foul. It looked like perhaps Gussman was already out of bounds, and he was thrown down. Let's see what the preliminary call is. And the preliminary call is there is no flag. It was just an inadvertent flag. Maybe he was just marking the spot where the football was out of bounds. They use those little white pads, that they throw out there to mark the spot. You ever see when a punt returner is getting ready to leave? They throw those little white things down. It looks like those things that they kick around. What do they call that? Kickball?
Hacky sack.
Yeah, that.
3rd and 10 from the 29. Gussman will drop back to throw. Has some time in the pocket. Fires near side. Complete to Ellis. And he is grabbed by Conklin and a couple other defenders for West Jenny. A little pushing and shoving going on. But Conklin doing a nice job of coming up and making the hit on Steve Ellis.
This is a crossing pattern. Gussman stands tall in the pocket. Shoots the ball right across the middle. Ellis has the ball. Tries to cut up the field. Conklin and XQB coming up and making a good tackle. The whistle's blown. And then guys they talk to each other a little bit. And probably won't be sending each other postcards or Christmas cards this year, I bet.
Nice stick by the safety, Conklin. 6'1", 175-pound junior making the play. It's 4th down, and Peter is on to punt again for CNS. He stands back at the 21, boots the ball away with his left foot, comes to Conklin, and he will let the ball roll toward him. He will not try to return the ball. It's down by CNS at the 31-yard line of West Genesee. That's where the Wildcats will take over again on offense. West Genesee leads it 15-0 here in the third quarter from Archie Hall Stadium with 2:55 to play in quarter number 3.
Same scenario as the last time when West Genesee had the ball. They're going to look for ground control. They're going to try and keep the ball on the ground so that they can have the clock ticking in their favor. From CNS's standpoint, it's getting to a point where they're going to have to start stripping the ball, looking for a turnover, because what they need is CNS wants to have the ball in better field position.
1st and 10 for West Genesee. Conklin in motion, and he will take the ball. Move to the far side of the field, gets around the end. A flag is down on the play, but Conklin has room to run before being forced out of bounds at about the 50-yard line. But a flag is down back inside the 40, and that will be a call against one of the linemen. And we'll wait for the preliminary call. Could be a hold against West Genesee.
Holding on the offense.
That is indeed the call, and West Genesee will lose yardage on that play as Conklin was able to take the ball over midfield before being knocked out of bounds at about the 49 of CNS. But West Jenny will be forced back a long way on the 10-yard penalty.
From an offensive standpoint, you surely dislike seeing that, because here's the end of the run. You see Conklin, who was a quarterback, playing flanker now, shows great speed getting to the outside. Anthony Johnson saw enough of that run and pushed them out of bounds. But Conklin looks good at flanker. He looks real good there.
Also looks good at safety as the CNS fans cheering on the North Stars. It's 1st and 15. As Musamichi takes the handoff. Doesn't pick up much yardage, maybe a yard or two, as he took the handoff inside, and he has been doing a good job on the ground for West Genesee on the evening. The fullback
looks very, very tough. And Chris, who had been playing, injured himself, and unfortunately, Chris could possibly be out for the rest of the season. But Billy Christ is a very tough football player, and Musamichi standing in and doing a very capable job.
Musamichi with 15 carries for 74 yards on the night. Yelterio to throw. Intended for Sullivan, but falls incomplete as Anthony Johnson was there defensively. The cornerback making the play on the big tight end for West Jenny, Bill Sullivan.
D'Alterio is very impressive. Watch him look off his main receiver. He looks to the right, and now he looks off to the left where his receiver is. He stands in there because he was going to get popped. Billy Sullivan reaches out, but doesn't get the football. There were 3 defenders right around him. That was a good shoot, good defense.
Anthony Johnson almost had himself an interception, but Sullivan was there to knock it away. 3rd and 13. The quick kick as Jones boots it away, and the ball bounces inside the 50 and takes a good West Jenny roll. The Wildcats roll down it at the 35-yard line.
Looks like a personal foul. There was a flag downfield. Looked like one of the CNS ball players got a little too enthusiastic and took a swipe at one of the West Genesee guys, and one of the refs caught that. And there you can see he's saying it's a personal foul against CNS. I'm sure Coach Marzullo is not going to be happy with that.
A good call by West Genesee to make that quick kick.
Got dead ball foul, personal foul on the green.
And the umpire is telling us that was a personal foul against CNS. It was one of those situations where emotion is really high during this game. And you can see this is a quick kick. Quick kick just snapped back to the tailback. The tailback kicks the ball. Gwilyn Jones is also the punter on the team, so that's good for them. The ball takes a roll. Naturally, the defense isn't ready for a punt, so they're going to let the ball roll. And at that particular time, it was much to the benefit of the West Genesee Wildcats. And on that play, at the tail end, someone downfield took a swipe at somebody else, and they got caught. CNS got penalized.
North Stars back deep. 1st and 10 for CNS, and a fumble on the snap. Gusman unable to handle the exchange with his center. We'll wait for the two teams to unpile. Perhaps Damon Gusman was able to cover. No indication just yet, but it does look like CNS did recover the football.
Now, this isn't the exchange part. Zockel and Gusman, you can see Zockel snapped the ball. Gusman wasn't ready for it. Now, Gusman has not played quarterback yet this year, to our knowledge, and Gusman is, again, a great athlete who's trying to get the ball quickly and get out there and do something. The ball's a little slippery, and that exchange between the center and the quarterback has to be something that is practiced and practiced and practiced.
Time ticking away for CNS. 40 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. 2nd and 10. And taking the handoff for the North Stars and breaking ahead downfield. Vito Cuparo on the carry. That's a surprise. We didn't expect Vito to have his number called, but he got the handoff on that play and took it far downfield for the 1st down.
Recuparo takes the ball off tackle, and you see right there's a gaping hole. Ryder misses him. Now Recuparo has room to roam. Big Darren McLaren with those long strides catching up to him. Watch him try to strip the ball with the right hand, and he does strip the ball. And you see the ball go out of bounds. That's why you carry the ball in the hand that's closest to the out of bounds, because in that particular scenario, you saw the ball roll out of bounds, and it's still CNS's possession.
Here's the 1st down situation on the night. 1st and 10 for CNS. Gusman gives to Recuparo again, and he takes it ahead for about 5 yards before he's stacked up by the West Jenny defensive front, and he is a quick crowd favorite here at Archie Hall Stadium. CNS trying to generate some excitement. Maybe Vito Recuparo is the guy to do it.
Vito takes the ball off tackle again right here. He's got another big hole, and those holes are being opened up by O'Connor, Sellers, Zockel, Cuss, and Corbett. You got to give those offensive linemen credit. They're opening up the holes that's allowing Vito to get right through there and to pick up big yardage.
And that is the end of the 3rd quarter as Recoparo's 2 carries help CNS to get something generated at the end of the 3rd quarter. West Jenny leads it 15-0. You're watching New Channel Sports on Cable 13.
Onondaga Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation Center is dedicated to the safe and speedy recovery of all athletes from a sports-related injury. Our staff of certified athletic trainers and physical therapists specialize in the evaluation and treatment of athletic injuries and orthopedic conditions. Our facility is outfitted with the latest and most advanced therapeutic and conditioning equipment. If you've been sidelined by an athletic injury and you're serious about returning to an active lifestyle, take advantage of Onondaga Sports Medicine. Executive Director Don Lowe.
When friends don't stop friends from drinking and driving. Friends die from drinking and driving. from drinking, and drinking and driving can kill a friendship.
Welcome back to New Channel Sports on Cable 13. Once again, Vito Ricafaro has his number called for CNS as the fourth quarter is just underway here at Archie Hall Stadium. West Genesee leads it 15-0, and CNS trying to get something generated. Vito Ricafaro has carried the ball 3 straight times for CNS, and head coach Tom Marzillo as the North Stars try to get something generated with Damon Gussman in at quarterback and Ricafaro, the new man out of the backfield.
Someone had to do it. Ricafaro came in. He's the one that seems to be carrying the load now. They've got a number of talented backs. Vito's a senior, 5'7", 150-pounder, and he's been doing a great job.
He picks up the first down, makes it 1st and 10 for CNS. Ball placed at the 24-yard line of West Jenny. Gussman is in at quarterback, Marzillo in motion, and he runs the option to the near side and is dragged down from behind on a great play by defensive tackle Matt Byrne to pull down Gussman.
Matt Byrne breaking through again. There's a gap whenever the guard, onside guard, goes to block. The defensive tackle swings through. Now see the gap that he swung through there? And that's what you're talking about. Matt Byrne comes in and makes the big tackle. If he doesn't make the tackle, then all of a sudden we're talking about a big gainer by Gussman.
2nd and 12 for CNS as Burns' play knocked the North Stars back a couple yards. The ball is spotted at the 26-yard line. 10.5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Ricafaro takes the football up the middle, but doesn't manage to pick up much yardage. He's able to get back to the line of scrimmage and push ahead for a couple more yards. And a nice play by Ricafaro, a good second effort by Vito.
Riccaparo's running very hard. He looks like he wants it. He's going right inside the gap there. A great hole. Number 64, Dan Corbett, came over and sprung through a great block, and that's what helped Ricafaro to get through there and pick up necessary yardage to get him into a situation of picking up the first down.
For Ricafaro, 4 carries for 58 yards. His first carry of the game, a big 45-yard gain for CNS. 3rd and 7 for the North Stars from the 20-yard line of West Jenny. Tom Marzillo in motion. He takes the pitch but loses the football and tries to scamper back and get it. It's loose on the ground. A fumble by CNS. And it does look like Tom Marzillo was able to cover the football, and that almost a very costly mistake for CNS.
The straight option. McLaren does a great job getting off his block. The pitch, that's what caused the pitch to be bad. But Marzillo does a good job of staying with it, picking it up and trying to dart forward for some extra yardage to get the first down. Now it's 4th and long.
4th and 8. And it does look like CNS will go for it on 4th down, as Damon Gussman brings the North Stars to the line. 4th and 8 for CNS with 9 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. Ball at the 21-yard line. Gussman will throw. Takes a long drop. Has time. Has lots of time, but he falls down and is sacked by West Genesee in the backfield, and that's a coverage sack.
That's exactly right, Ted. Gussman had plenty of time to get rid of the football. He just couldn't find anyone open, and that's great. That's a great comment on the defensive back for West Genesee. There he's got plenty of time. He's set up. He's getting good protection. Now all of a sudden the protection breaks down because these guys can't hold him out forever. McLaren comes in and does a good job wrapping him up to put him down.
West Genesee takes over offensively, leading the game 15-0 with 8 minutes and 20 seconds to play in the fourth quarter. Delterio brings his Wildcats to the line. And the give is to the tailback. It's Yusamichi, the fullback, on the carry. The main force on the ground for West Genesee on the night. 16 carries for 78 yards.
Yusamichi, the workhorse this evening. That's what you have to do. Coach Carruthers said at the beginning of the game, if we can run the ball effectively, then we'll be able to throw our passes off of that, and that's exactly what West Genesee has done.
Yusamichi picks up 4 yards on the play, makes it 2nd and 6. Backs are split. And once again, a handoff to Musamichi. West Genesee will keep the football on the ground and eat some time up off the clock. We're down to 7.5 minutes to play in the fourth quarter.
It's important now from CNS's standpoint that they come up with the big turnover. With the ball being a little slippery, what you have to do now is tackle the football. There's one of the CNS coaches, Jim Deshensky.
He is the defensive coordinator for CNS, and the North Stars have to stop West Genesee and get the ball back. It's 3rd and 5. Conklin is in motion, and he takes the handoff from the quarterback, D'Alterio. Tries to turn it upfield, gets outside, but is pulled down from behind before he is sandwiched by one of the CNS defensive backs. Anthony Johnson is there.
Anthony Johnson's been coming up and putting some big licks on people.
Todd Teeter also in on the tackle.
You see the offside guard, David Schneid, coming in. It's supposed to be an inside play. Conklin recognizes that, bounces it outside. Childers comes up and makes a shoestring tackle, and there's mopping up is Anthony Johnson with a good hit.
4th and 2. West Genesee will go for it on 4th down to try and keep possession and also to keep that clock rolling. Conklin is in motion. D'Alterio gives to Musamichi, who is pulled down behind the line of scrimmage. A great defensive play by CNS. So Musamichi, who has been the money man for West Genesee all night, takes the handoff, needing 2 yards for the first down, but CNS stuffs him, and the North Stars take over possession.
Two interesting things about this. First off, here's the inside handoff. They fake the swinging out wide, but no one decided to block Todd Teeter. Todd steps up there and makes a very good hit. And notice Todd tackled him up high so he could wrestle him down without letting his momentum go forward. That's a good play by Todd Teeter.
Teeter using his strength to make the play. The 5'11", 210-pound linebacker. 1st and 10 for the North Stars. Gussman to throw. Has some time. Fires far down the field, showcasing his arm, but playing center field for West Genesee on defense is Joe Dell, who tips the ball away. That pass intended for Steve Ellis, but what an arm Gussman has.
Gussman looked good throwing the ball, but unfortunately for his team, he wasn't close to where the receiver was at that particular time. Look at Dell. Dell has got his body in between the goal line and the man. That is the key, playing defensive back. In this particular scenario, what you don't want is you don't want a big play, because if the ball is thrown short and Ellis makes the catch, Dell can then come up and make the tackle, and that's what they want to do from West Genesee's standpoint.
With the incompletion, it's 2nd and 10 for CNS. Gussman, the quarterback. Ellis split wide to the near side. They give this to the tailback, Recoparo, and looks like the ball came loose in there. And West Genesee did recover the football as CNS loses the ball, and the Wildcats take over on offense.
Getting something going. The last thing CNS needed was a turnover at that particular time to give West Genesee the ball. West Genesee now has the ball, and they've got a chance to... So you see the play. The ball squirts free. Darren McLaren picks the football up and tries to run with it, but he's tackled immediately. But that doesn't make any difference because West Genesee has the lead and the football.
A costly fumble by CNS. The pitch is to Musamichi, who breaks one tackle, but he is stuffed at about the line of scrimmage.
See, everybody, that's what those piles are like. They've got knees in your face, and people are pushing off you and everything. It's terrible. He's got 80 yards, Musamichi does. You see him put the ball in the left hand. That's good. He gets hit by Childers, continues to go, and then Scotty O'Connor comes up and wraps him up, puts an end to his running. That was a good, hard running, even though he didn't only pick up an inch or two. The most important thing now from West Genesee's standpoint is holding on to the football and eating up the clock.
We are down to 4.5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. There you see D'Alterio's numbers on the night, 5 out of 9 for 64 yards. They give this to the fullback, Musamichi, again, as he takes it up the middle and does pick up about 4 yards on the play to bring him to about 84 yards on the ground for the evening. That'll be 3rd and 6 or 7 coming up for West Genesee.
On this particular play, it's just a straight dive to the fullback. Great blocking up front by Tatalis, Barry, Schneid, and Big 75 Jim Kelsey, along with Brian Bell, and they're opening up some gaping holes, and Musumici's taking advantage of that.
3:55 to play. West Genesee leads it 15-0. 3rd and 7 for the Wildcats. Conklin in motion, right to left. Yelterio gives it to him, and he will lose yardage as he's going to try and get away from a couple of tacklers. Can't do it. Scott O'Connor, the first man in. Teeter also in on the play as CNS stops West Genesee on 3rd down. That'll make it 4th down, and West Genesee will have to punt as we are down inside. 3.5 minutes to play in the 4th quarter.
So important right now. Again, here's a ball control play. They're giving the ball to Conklin, getting outside, but there's the penetration by Scotty O'Connor. Big O'Connor comes through there, swinging him around. The 5'11", 210 junior just puts Conklin to the ground, and what has to happen now is CNS has got to get the football and do something quick because they've only got 3 minutes and 30 seconds left, and they've got to score twice.
West Genesee lining up for the punt on 4th down with under 3 minutes to play in the 4th quarter. Jones stands at the 25-yard line for West Genesee. Gustman is back at the 30. There's the snap. It's a good one. Jones is able to get the ball away, and Gustman will let the ball bounce to him at the 30. He starts his return from there and is pulled down after a gain of about 5 yards on a good swarm coverage by West Genesee to pull down Damon Gustman after a 5-yard return.
Led by number 7, Nick Licamelli. Nick Licamelli is also the kicker on the team. He gets out there and wide out. He can run down that field. He sees West Genny's up 15-0 with 2 minutes and 39 seconds left on the clock. So what we're going to look for is there's got to be something out in the air. You've got to throw it out in the air for CNS, and from West Genesee standpoint, and they're still playing a man-to-man, so they've got to have Ryder and Conklin have got to stay deep.
Gustman has showcased his strong arm all night. He'll put it up again. Firing over the middle. Ellis nearly had it, but dropped it. In double coverage, Steve Ellis almost hauled in the pass, and if he caught it, he was gone.
That particular situation, you had a man-to-man, you had 2 wideouts. Gustman's looking at Ellis the whole time. Conklin makes a play for the ball, but he steps up too soon, and when he steps up, the ball is out of his reach. Ellis had a chance for the football. If Ellis had come up with the play, it would have been 6 points, as you said, Ted.
But how about Damon Gustman? What an arm he's got. He's the 3rd string quarterback for CNS.
Gustman looks outstanding. Gustman is what you call an athlete. He's just an athlete.
2nd and 10 for CNS. Gustman to throw again, and he will be sacked by West Genesee on a good rush by the defensive line for the Wildcats.
Big Jim Kelsey coming through there from his defensive end position, making a great play, just swarming all over. See, Kelsey's being held off, but after a while, if you don't get rid of that football, you're going to have big defensive guys climbing all over you, and that's what happened to Mr. Gustman on that particular play. So now it's 3rd and a whole bunch.
Make it 3rd down and 22 yards to go for CNS.
Well, this is 2-down territory with the time in favor of West Genesee at this particular time. They've got to try and do something. I would think that perhaps they might go for half of it now and then go for a big play, but they've got to get a 1st down so they can keep possession of the football.
Clock is rolling, less than 90 seconds to play. Make that 3rd and 23 as Gustman will throw. He is hit, but does manage to get the ball away to Matt O'Connor, who makes the catch at the 30-yard line. So as you did mention, Ken, CNS going for it in small installments, small chunks, trying to pick up that 1st down, but they are very short.
This is a great play by Gustman just to stand in there. Now watch from his backside. He isn't going to see the guy coming in. That's Billy Sullivan coming. Boom! That's a great hit. And then O'Connor comes back and makes a very good catch. Now they're in punt position.
Todd Teeter is on to kick as we're down to 44 seconds to play in the game.
The center moved his head. That's going to be offsides against the center. He can't jerk his head like that. Yeah, you call the false start. What happens is even if the center gets over the ball, the center can't move his head up, he can't move his hands, he can't get the defenders to start moving or jumping. This is also a position to watch out for the fake.
CNS will try it again. Teeter stands back inside the 15-yard line for CNS. It's a low snap, but he kicks it away with his left foot. And West Jenny will just let the ball bounce as the North Stars cover at the 42-yard line. 22 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. West Genesee will take over on offense and run out the string as the Wildcats will even their record at 2-2, while CNS will fall to 2-2.
The next home game is not until November 3rd, but we will entertain Liverpool.
Big win for West Genesee. West Genesee was in a had-to-win position here, and they came out with a 1-2 football team, a team that wasn't expected to come out and be able to run the ball effectively against a tough CNS team, and that's exactly what they did. They ran the ball, which set up their passing game, and they played tough defense. That's why the score is 15-0 with 25 seconds to go, and that'll probably be our final score.
Scott Conklin is in at quarterback as West Genesee will run out the string. Quick give to the reserve running back, Joe Adams on the carry, and that will do it from Archie Hall Stadium as West Genesee wins the game and shuts out CNS. The final score, West Genesee 15, CNS nothing. We'll be back with our Onondaga Sports Medicine Player of the Game and a talk with winning head coach Joe Carruthers right after this timeout. You're watching New Channel Sports on Cable 13.
Longevity is an incredible gift, one that some don't get to enjoy. In upstate New York alone, more than 3,000 kids have cancer, and 195 new cases will be diagnosed this year. Childhood cancer is the #1 killer of our kids. One day there'll be a cure, but until then, Camp Good Days and Special Times improves the quality of life for kids with cancer and their families. 315-426-0736. Camp Good Days and Special Times, year-round.
When Fran fell, he called for help. But the only ones there were ignorance, incompetence, indifference. Fran called for help again. Confusion came instead. At last, help came. Help knew what to do. In times of emergency, are you helped? Learn Red Cross First Aid, where you work, or call your local chapter.
Welcome back to New Channel Sports on Cable 13, speaking with the West Genesee Wildcats and head coach Joe Carruthers with a big victory tonight, and not only a big win defeating CNS, but shutting them out at home.
Well, CNS has got a great team, a great defensive team, so I was happy with our offensive showing. And we have been having trouble with our defense the last couple of games, and I was really proud of them today. I made a real bad call. I should have punted when they had the ball in our own end, and the defense came through and saved my job for me. They did a hell of a job.
Great job by the defensive line to control that line of scrimmage.
Yeah, we're undersized. We did a lot of stunning, and the kids did a nice job with it. I can't say enough about it.
Offensively, what do you think of the performance of your offensive squad tonight, putting 15 points on the board against a tough CNS defense that had allowed just 8 points coming into the game?
Well, obviously I'm happy. Words don't express that, I suppose. We've scored against everybody, and I think we can score. Scoring hasn't been our problem. Defense has been kind of hurting us a little bit, and tonight it came together. Offensively, I'm pleased. We can still do a couple more things a little better, and I'm sure when we look at the tape, we'll find something to practice on come Monday.
Thanks a lot, Coach. Congratulations on tonight's victory. And our Onondaga Sports Medicine Player of the Game, fullback Dave Musamichi, the winner tonight of the Onondaga Sports Medicine Player of the Game. Congratulations on your terrific performance tonight, but you couldn't have done it without your teammates, I guess.
Yes, I couldn't. These guys deserve more than I do. I couldn't do anything. Couldn't do it without them.
Had your number called plenty of times, about 18, 20 carries on the night. Get tired at all out there carrying the ball so many times?
No, it's just, no.
Just glad to contribute so much to your team's win, especially after throwing the ball so many times last week, to run it so often tonight in the rain.
Yes, it's just, we got a good passing offense, and it's just, the whole line is just good.
Okay, thanks, Dave. Congratulations on being named our Onondaga Sports Medicine Player of the Game. West Genesee Wildcats tonight defeating Cicero North Syracuse. The final score from Archie Hall Stadium, 15-0. We'll be back with the game's final statistics and to wrap it up right after this. You're watching New Channel Sports on Cable 13.
Think about it before you turn the key. Think before you put it in the driver's seat. Gotta use caution. You gotta use caution. You gotta use caution. Don't drink and drive, y'all. Out here, you know what I'm saying? Caution. You gotta use caution. You gotta use caution. Drinking and driving ain't gonna work. You know what I mean? Think, please.
Wake up, all the teachers, come to teach a new way. Maybe then they'll listen to what you have to say.
The power of teaching.
Well, we'll get no better if we're just...
The power to wake up young minds. The power to wake up the world. Teachers have that power. Reach for the power. Teach. We're recruiting young teachers. Call 1-800-45-TEACH.
Welcome back to New Channel Sports on Cable 13. The final score from Archie Hall Stadium, West Genesee defeats CNS 15-0. And here you're looking at a 12-yard gain by the Onondaga Sports Medicine Player of the Game, Dave Musamichi, who picked up 83 yards on the ground on 20 carries. So West Genesee fullback Dave Musamichi, the Onondaga Sports Medicine Player of the Game. And now, Ken, let's take a look at the game's final statistics.
You see, the most interesting thing about the final stats, the yards rushing. West Genesee, 144 yards to CNS 107, and also 64 yards passing. Interesting, 208 yards against a very tough and stingy CNS defense. CNS, again, coming into this game, their defense had only given up 9 points in 3 games, and that was the biggest turnover as far as the what we were looking at as far as stats are concerned. Also, speaking of turnovers, CNS had 2 turnovers. West Genesee caused them. Big defensive plays by West Genesee. They were smaller, but they were scrappy.
For the Wildcats, surprising to see West Genesee run the ball so many times as opposed to throwing the ball 29 times last week. Was that perhaps because of the rain tonight or because Musamichi was playing so well?
I think Musamichi was playing well, but I think the reason Musamichi was playing so well is because that he had that big offensive line in front of him. West Genesee, Kelsey, and the other guys were doing a great job opening up the holes. If you've got a hole in front of you, you can get through it. Musamichi did a great job as far as getting past the first and second defender, but it was the offensive line for West Genesee and West Genesee's defensive line that really came through and made the difference in this particular contest.
The defensive line doing a good job of shutting CNS down offensively.
Yes, very well. And that's the thing that you talk about. When you're talking about defense, you've got to talk about a swarmy defense. West Genesee did that. But let's not take anything away from CNS. CNS had the ball. They had it in tough field position. Gussman came up. Gussman played great. The rest of the team played well. But again, 15-0. Unfortunately, someone has to lose. In this particular instance, it was the CNS North Stars.
Okay, there you have it. The final score from Archie Hall Stadium. West Genesee defeats CNS 15-0. For my broadcast partner, Ken Chase, this is Ted DeLuca. Thanks for watching New Channel Sports on Cable 13.